welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch, and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show podcast.
Okay, hello and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. Already through Wednesday. Just flying along, huh?
We're doing it, Kev.
That's right. Getting there. Got a lot of big stuff and already trying to work on some plans for the weekend. Another appearance by Captain Crust. This time going to be heading to Joe DiMaggio to see the kids and hand out some pizza to them.
Yes, thank you to Beats for all the pizza that they give to Captain Crust for free.
Mm-hmm.
That is a big project tonight for me. I'm redoing my boots. Some new pepperoni pizza boots.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
That was the only thing that was kind of little crappy looking on the costume, but it was our first try doing it.
Yeah, it was a prototype.
It's gonna only get better.
Of
the
course.
costume.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Okay.
Have patience with the Captain Crust looking Snatch. What?
Snatch.
Snatched.
Oh,
Isn't
Snatch.
okay.
It's Snatched.
I was going, what about Cap Crunch? What about his Snatch?
His Snatch is out? All right. If you bring your Snatch to the children's hospital, it's going to be an issue.
Hey, kids, you want to see my Snatch?
No.
I was trying to be cool with the lingo and go, snatched, girl. You know how that term is, snatched?
Looking Snatch.
Yeah, look, all right, looking.
Not look at my Snatch.
Two different things. One means you're cool, the other one means you're going to jail.
Yeah. With a lot of witnesses.
Well, good thing Captain Crust doesn't talk much.
I don't know. He was pretty great. Last time he was at the hospital, he was great. Kids love a superhero, especially a superhero that's giving them pizza.
Yeah.
It was such a home run, Kevin. I've
Yeah.
never seen a home run. And we've been going to the hospital for over 25 years now.
Yeah, I mean, pizza is just awesome, and look, adults love pizza, but there's just something about it as a kid. Pizza parties and everything. It's just pizza was just. I mean, if pizza was around, you know, it was a good time.
But when you combine it with the superhero for the kids, I wish you saw all their faces.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
That's
Well,
cool.
we're going to be doing a bigger video. We still have some footage that people haven't seen yet, but there's going to be a bigger video coming out. A little bit
Good.
more, longer. The journey.
The power of pizza needs more shine.
But you're right, though. As a kid, pizza was more than just a food.
Yep.
It meant, oh,
It was an event.
One of my best friends is spending the night,
Yep.
or we just
It
won
did.
a baseball game.
Yep. Yeah.
Or fuck, I'm hungry.
And I think that helps imprint for kids because your association with pizza is just Friday nights or whatever it might be. It's good feelings, good vibes. Something awesome is happening in addition to the pizza.
Going to Blockbuster or whatever video rental place was
Yep.
near, going with your friends, picking out a couple movies, and
It's an
getting
event.
pizza. That was an event. It was very
Yeah.
cozy.
Yep. Well, we did a raise your hand poll at the end of the regular show today. We asked, did you ever lie about your age to get into a club or concert? 100% of us had done that. All had them fake IDs or whatever. I remember that was a big thing. We grew up in an era where it was a lot easier to fake them. I remember where if you could just take a safety pin, you could poke through the plastic sheet on the license and take some baby powder, and you could, because a lot of us, our birthdays were in 1973. This was my age, and so what you would do, you would take the safety pin, and the 3, you would go through and put some baby powder in that, so it was basically white out, and then you would make little pin marks, and then you would close up the other side of the 3, so it said 70. So for me, when I was in college, that's how everybody did their IDs. And so it always just said 1970 on it, and they would do that.
We had this kid that made a giant cardboard cutout
Yeah.
of the Louisiana
Yeah.
license, and we would just stand there and hold it with our head in it, and it worked.
Yeah.
It did. We had that too.
I don't know how it worked, but it worked.
Well, now they got holograms, and
Yeah.
now you got that new with the star on it and all that stuff. I don't know.
you
My
hold
daughter-
it up and you can see your face through it on both sides. It's like a clear picture. It's like a weird, clear picture.
Yeah, the way my daughter has done it in her era, she's, mid to late 20s. I remember with her, it was just finding somebody that looks similar to you and memorizing that and then just trying to say, no, that's me, So I think that's how they do it today.
I never had a fake ID, but I would always get into Roxy's, and I was always the last guy in our group. So we'd have guys that were 22, 18, because I played baseball, would all go out, and I'd always go last. I gave the bouncer Elvis Presley. It was an Elvis Presley ID, and he thought that was the funniest thing. So he let me in, and we'd always go back there. So every time I'd be the last one. It started turning ridiculous. I'd pull out a bottle of ketchup, and he'd just go, get the fuck in here. He loved it. Yeah, he was the one cool bouncer I've met in my life. But every time I'd go in there, there was a magnet. So that my buddy's mom made. I used that as an ID. He let me in.
He let you in with ketchup.
He did. And he was so cool about it. But each time it got that much more ridiculous. I think he kind of was looking forward to, all right, what's this crazy
What's he gonna do now?
Yeah.
You broke up the monotony of an otherwise terrible job.
Not everyone else thought that was cool, though. Not every other bar.
And only half of us have stalked an ex on social media, talking about a deep dive, not just kind of a drive-by. I think probably everybody, I've done the drive-by, I wonder what they're up to these days, and have kind of done it. Sometimes it's worked, and I found some stuff, and other times not so much.
It's so funny you bring that up, because I was looking at an ex stuff this morning.
Oh, wow.
As I was getting ready because somebody in my life reached out to me not too long ago and said, so-and-so is getting divorced. And I was like, really? That's crazy, because so-and-so has been with his wife for forever. And I dated so-and-so way back when we were in college. And I looked, and sure enough, so-and-so wiped anything with his wife off of all of his social media, and now it's just him and some girl he met in a bar. I was like, whoa.
Huh, okay.
That's weird.
So did you get the satisfaction you were hoping to find?
Not completely. I did see a little bit, but yeah, I kind of wanted to delve more deeply into who is this girl. I looked into, she looks to be like a single mom.
Okay.
Who just hangs out in the bars, and
wow.
I guess he found her in a bar.
Okay. There you go.
Crazy. Because he's got money.
Okay.
She looks like she's struggled.
Okay.
So I'm putting this whole picture in my head together.
So you've got it all worked out. You know exactly what's going on.
She's using him for the money. She might off him. He's so naive and sweet. He'll never see it coming. There'll be a Dateline special. I should warn him. I create this whole narrative in my head.
Okay, so you got it all figured out.
But she looks a little scary, though, so I might not warn him.
Mm-hmm. Was it you, Jaybird, who was the other person that has been kind of stalking?
Yeah, I feel like I was a bit duped. An ex had reached out to me out of the blue, and it was very benign but nice, and seeing how I was doing. I'm like, what's going on here? I felt something odd was going on, so I went on to her social media, and sure as shit, she was getting married, and she wanted me to fucking see all that. So I was like, all right.
Did she want you to be the guy that stands up and goes, when they say, if anybody here knows why this couple should not be married, speak now?
I don't think that. I don't fucking know.
Oh, I only hope that one day I'm at a wedding where that happens and somebody speaks now or forever holds their peace. I'll be so happy.
And then somebody goes, and cut. Because I think it only happens in the movies.
No, it happens in real life. I'm holding out hope.
Yeah, but I think about it was just, oh, look, I'm getting married.
I'm getting married. Nanny, nanny, poo, poo.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you're like, so what? I don't care.
All right, I have to file.
Marriage is dumb.
But I did go down the rabbit hole of seeing, all right, what's going on here?
What are you up to?
That is kind of fun to see.
But I wasn't pining, though. It wasn't like I'm going, whoa.
Yeah, no, I'm not pining either. I'm just super nosy.
She wanted me to be curious. I got curious and I looked. I took the bait. The rat took the cheese.
Because, every rat is a little curious.
Yeah, curiosity killed the rat.
75% of us have accidentally walked into the wrong apartment or house. I think the last time I did it, I was drunken in college. Thought I was at the house party, and I wasn't. I was at just some regular family's place. So I climbed through the bathroom window. What happened with you guys?
This is when I first started drinking, and I used to drink Strawberry Hill Boone's Farm and get fucking turned. And I was living down in Broward, and every apartment looked the same, and someone did not have their door unlocked, and I thought it was mine. And I walked in like, whoa! And then, oh my God, oh shit, I'm in the wrong place, I'm sorry.
It's alarming for everyone.
I was surprised. They were surprised. And that shit could have been dangerous.
Tell me about it. You could have got shot.
Yeah.
People have gotten shot doing that before. That's a thing.
So the lesson here, kids, is don't ever drink Strawberry Hills Boone's Farm. It's disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, we know better. We can do better.
Do they still make that?
Great question.
I should get some for
should.
For Friday.
Yeah.
For nostalgia.
Maybe not Friday. We're going to the hospital.
Hey, kid.
Hey, kids, who wants to see my Snatch?
Captain Crust smells funny.
Yeah, it's all involving drinking, right? Because I've gone up to the wrong house, and I was even slapping the window trying to get their attention, and then I passed out in the bush, and it was the next door house. My friend saw me when he was going to work.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh, man, I passed out in the wrong house.
I've done that with the wrong car, and I wasn't even drunk. It was a situation where my buddy dropped me off to go to the ATM at a Publix, and I'm getting my money out, and I thought the car pulling up to the stop sign was his
him?
car. I opened it up, and it was a woman. She's like, what? I go, I'm sorry, ma'am. She thought she was getting...
She thought carjacking had come for her.
Seeing a pattern here.
I had a friend on a beer run in to grab beer, and when he came out, he got in the wrong car, and the car drove off with him. It took him a second for all of them to figure it all out.
Really?
Yeah, he got in the car next to us. I was like, yo, I think Mark got in the wrong car.
Mark! Come back!
That happened to me in Denny's.
Mark's
Oh, my
gone.
gosh.
Mark's got a new friend group now.
He was gone for 20 minutes.
Before he got back.
Yeah, well, we didn't know what to do. Cell phones weren't even that big at the time. He still had the Nokia ones, you know?
Mark came back with quite a tail.
Yeah.
That's
The
amazing.
guy's like, dude, you got in my car. I didn't know what was happening. He thought he was getting robbed.
Oh.
That's what I think the lady at Publix thought was going down. So, oh, shit.
I think that's why they acted weird and they took him.
9 out of 10 guys that open your door in a Publix parking lot are there to carjack or murder you.
Or just they're dumb fucks.
And have you ever hooked up with somebody and forgotten their name afterward? And I guess the question is, did you know their name before? And so I was the only one that raised their hand, and it's a little bit fuzzy because, again, it's another college story. But, yeah, there was somebody that I was with, and I'm not sure I knew her name before, actually.
And we're talking about going full gorilla, the whole kitten caboodle, if you know what I mean.
The whole, yeah.
The whole Snatch episode.
Oh, yes.
The whole kitten was in the caboodle.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you, yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh.
I think it was all the way.
Summer Kev.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Just, you know.
Just slaying.
Yeah, just
Just a Kev being a Kev.
apparently nothing but whores at Ohio University. Including me. So there you go, answering all those questions. A couple thoughts here from the regular show. David had an interesting thought. You were talking about all the animals that you've seen around your house that are missing a leg.
And I didn't mention this. They're not all around my exact house. There's sometimes I'll take a walk and I'll see one just, in a neighbor's yard, or I'll be driving and stop and see it go down. But a lot of them are just in that same kind of block area.
Okay, yeah. Well, this is an interesting thought from David, and he said, this just doesn't seem like a coincidence. It happens in the wild. I think what's going on is you probably have somebody in that vicinity that has a trap that is being set.
Oh.
And these other animals are getting caught in it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because otherwise I have not heard of so many animals missing a leg in a small vicinity. So that probably is what is going on.
Wow.
Great point.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Clouseau over there solving it.
Well, it's
Yeah.
David. Yeah, thank you, David.
Well, that makes sense, too, why it's not just at my house. It's around the area. So somebody's... Dang.
Yeah.
I wish you guys could see this raccoon.
Yeah.
It is it's the biggest raccoon I've ever seen in my life, and it just looks evil.
It does, huh?
It's got an evil... it just kind of slinks away evilly.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like if it had a chance to have its way with you, it would.
Sexually?
Huh.
It's just bad. It's bad news.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if anybody's ever been raped by a raccoon.
If anybody on this show would, Jay Bird is most likely.
He'll come into work. Guys, you're not going to believe it. That'd be something.
Raccoon, push me down.
Gosh, that'd be something.
I do come in here with a lot of Doc Brown energy. You guys won't believe this moment. This raccoon totally blew me.
Now we're dating.
Yeah, how about that, huh? Katie had a question. She said, you guys were talking yesterday about letting your kid win, and you're talking about your 16-year-old son, Cannon, with basketball. And you said you knew eventually he was going to be able to beat you, but what about your daughter, Caitlin? Obviously, as a female, you will always beat her in the physical side of sports. Yeah, I think where it's probably different is just Caitlin played softball, and that's more of a team sport, and you don't necessarily have the one-on-one type of dynamic that you do in basketball. And that's really the only thing with Cannon that I would say I knew. And there are some board games that we play, but the dynamic with Cannon's a little bit different because with Colin and Caitlin, they were twins, and they always had each other. And in a way, that made life a lot easier to parent because they, at a very early age, they were taking baths together, watching their Scooby-Doo, playing together.
They were buddies.
Yeah. They just were always together, and Grandpa put them in the same outfits. And so they kept each other company, especially during the younger years. Now, later, in elementary school and whatever, my daughter got into, her interests, and so did my older son, Colin. So, yeah, Cannon has almost been like an only child because they're 10 years older than him.
Yeah, that's how Rocco is, too. Mm-hmm. Rocco doesn't really get to hang with his sister that much.
Right.
Would Colin and Caitlin, they got along growing up? Was there a lot of fighting, or it was pretty much...
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember anything. I mean, there was, some of the usual, but yeah, for the most part, everything was good. But they were very diverse because my daughter was into sports, my son was into theater, and so they didn't really have cliques that overlapped. That makes sense. Their friend group's very different in their interests. And so, yeah, when they got to that age where they could go out and hang with friends and all that, then they kind of went their separate ways at that age. But, yeah, early on.
Would you fight with your sisters?
No. When we were little, maybe it was a competitive thing when we were little. But then when we got older, no.
Because Maggie, is she a lot younger than you?
She's like 5 years younger.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And Denise is asking, how long did the smelling salts rush last for Kevin yesterday? I would liken it to, you ever jumped into a cold pool and it's like, oh my gosh, you're like, okay, you're awake and you're ready to go. But 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it kind of dissipates. So I would say that.
Could you see, because you really went big,
yes.
And I did it just mildly a few weeks ago just to kind of see, and nothing to wear.
You can run your nose over it and it'll get your attention, but if you shake it, put your nose right in over the bottle and you go as much as you can with the extra strength that you got, that gets your attention.
If you didn't sleep and you were drowsy right before the show, would that give you a major boost? And how long would that boost last for?
Yeah, that's a good question. I wasn't particularly tired yesterday when I did it. But, yeah, it was, like I'd said, probably 10, 15 minutes of, okay, it's there. But then, do you still feel sustained energy? I think you'd have to be really tired to do. When it was sold to me, they were saying, like, it's better than an energy drink and all that. But, what is the longevity of the rush that you feel from smelling salts?
And then do you keep doing it when it wears off? And that can't be good for you, right?
Well, it was punishing. I mean, it was tough to do because it really burned. It's if you've ever had like maybe a wasabi or something like that.
Chlorine. It smelled like chlorine
like a chemical
to me.
that just flushes everything out. I mean, immediately you're snotting, your eyes are watering. So it's kind of a violent reaction. It's not a pleasant thing to go through.
And the bottle that I had tried too, there was an older bottle, so the potency wasn't like that. That was fresh, right out the chute that you had. Mm-hmm, so right. it was kick you in the dick.
Like I said, I did not go into it with the right type of energy. I went into it not expecting anything other than just a whiff of something big. Oh my goodness! And it knocked me out of my chair. I was so stunned by that, the power of it.
I really beg people to go back and watch the short. The one that, there's two videos out there, but there's one where you really get your face and you really get Virginia's face.
Yeah.
You can just see
The pain.
the pain. I mean,
It was.
we're fucked.
Yeah, it was like I said, it's a rough ride, and I don't know. I mean, I'd have to be really tired and really have to be on it to do it, because what you have to go through, I mean, you drink an energy drink and it's pleasant. Even jumping into a cool pool, I would say, is a more pleasant experience than the smelling salts.
Do you feel energy drinks when you drink them, or because I feel like those can wear off if you drink enough of them?
They do.
Yeah.
Probably the only thing that now I really start to notice is that the heart flutters more, and it kind of freaks me out. I've really tried to scale back. Not to say I won't ever do them, but I mean, I used to do. My gosh, I remember when Red Bull first came out. Remember we had that Red Bull fridge, and I was drinking probably like 4 a show. I was like, all right, new hour, time for, and I'm riding high.
Heart attack.
Yeah, some of those drinks can give me anxiety.
Yeah.
Because
they
you're
can.
right. My heart will start tap dancing. Go, here it is.
Right.
Here it is.
Yeah.
I'm coming home, Mom.
So that'd be the only thing I'd say about that. And somebody asked, are they harmful if you do them regularly? I don't know. It almost sounded like there are people that do, weightlifters and people like that just want that, because it knocks you out of whatever you are. I mean, it's meant to bring people who are passed out back to consciousness. So it does. It rips you into the here and now.
Weightlifters are a different breed.
They are.
They're just a different kind of.
It's a different animal. I remember where I finally drew the line when I was Meathead Kev, and I was working out with a lot of those cops, and we were all on roids, and we were trying to get as big as we could. And
Remember that era?
Yeah, and they invited me. They're like, this ain't even really lifting. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, oh, we got a place. You got to come out on Saturday. And they had an industrial garage, in those lots where you have several different industrial garages.
Like Fight Club? They had their own Fight Club version of lifting weights?
Yeah, they didn't. It wasn't air conditioned, and you went in there, and this was, July, August, something like that. And they're like, okay, and they had, of course, an industrial sized fan to try to get circulation in there. But what they would do was they said, we have real weights. And so they would do squats, and they had oxygen tanks. And so you do it enough, like if you go really heavy, you get very lightheaded because the blood's rushing out of your head and your body's like, what the fuck's going on here? And they would come up, and they had 2 other meatheads spotting them so that the weight didn't crush them. So it took basically 3 guys to do this workout.
How many meatheads does it take?
It would take, that's why they wanted me, because like, we need another guy, our guy's not there, and so we need another spotter. And I'm like,
Story's fucking insane.
it was so insane. And I almost said yes. And I'm like, well, wait, what are you talking about? And then they lift, and then they come up, and then somebody slaps an oxygen mask on your face so you don't pass out. But a lot of times they're right on the edge of passing out, and they were doing all kinds of extreme stuff just to get that extra weight and do that rep. And
Lord.
And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll get even bigger. And then I'm like, that's where I was like, self-intervention. Like, no, what are you doing, man?
You got
Like,
lost in it.
what is going on?
Kevin, come on, Kevin, get out.
They almost got
would.
him.
I think if I would have shown up that day, who knows where I'd be. I think it would have been one of those life-changing kind of moments.
He'd be in one of those lifting competitions looking like a brown biscuit all buttered up.
Yeah.
Doing that pose.
Doing that pose.
It was
with weird veins everywhere.
I never got into the extreme levels of weightlifting, but that was where it got extreme. And the other thing that I saw other guys doing was the GHB stuff. And I remember my trainer was telling me about his buddy that did it, and he didn't time it out right. He did his workout, and the GHB is to knock you out so you can get that deep sleep so that you can rebuild the muscle. And he would always work out, do his GHB, get his meal at KFC, go home and sleep, and didn't time it right or took too much. Got to KFC, the GHB hit. He passed out and went face first into he got a huge industrial-sized bowl of the mashed potatoes, went into it and was trying to breathe, and it started sucking it up into his nasal passages, and they had to flip him backwards and flush out he almost drowned in his mashed potatoes.
Death by gravy.
Death by gravy and mashed potatoes. I'm like, holy crap, man.
Damn.
Like, that was the next level. So I was
There are
like,
worse ways to go out, my friend.
there are, but not many. I mean, you did it to yourself, you dumbass.
The dosing on that is so minuscule. The difference between taking the right amount and overdosing is about a teaspoon.
And
no lie.
And you probably think you can handle more.
Right.
Oh, last time I was crushing it. Fucking do some more, get some potatoes.
Yeah. So there was one level I had left to get to, and I finally I was like, this is too much. This is a road too far.
They almost got our boy.
They were trying. They were recruiting me hard. They're like, you belong in this club.
Yeah.
You're
This
there
club,
now.
this cult.
Well, you
You would
to.
have been their Tom Cruise.
Well, it was all right because you had to be able to squat a certain amount of weight. So you're like going, yeah, I can. I'm in the big boy club, you know? And so there was a part of you that wanted to go because you wanted to get even bigger. I was on the low end of the big boy club, but I was enough where I got an invite. And I almost went because of it. I'm like, well, this would be great.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were going through all that. We should have really kind of swept in and done
If
something.
I would have gone, it would have been intervention. It'd be like, dude, you're doing GHB. If you need a hit of oxygen after you do a rep, it's just, what are you doing?
if those guys would see you now, like out at the strip mall or something, they'd be like, I'm so glad we didn't invite.
They'd be ashamed of me.
this
They'd be
kid,
like,
fuck.
Yeah.
We knew he wasn't the
Yeah.
kind of man
They
we
knew,
needed.
yeah. I didn't have the heart of it. I didn't have the heart.
Well, meatheads would come up to me sometimes. You were nowhere near me. I'd be at the store. I'd be out at a bar somewhere, and it'd be, so you and Virginia are always talking about how big Kevin is. Kevin's not fucking big. I'm like, all right, dude.
Yeah.
I get it. You got.
Yeah,
Am I in a
wasn't.
meat off?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't give a shit how big you
I'll
are.
admit, for the regular person, I was huge, but for their club, I was, like I said, I was going to go in as the tiny dude. I was going to be their project.
You were the runt.
I was the one that they were like, we'll really get you Jack. You're not, and they would say that. They're like, you're not Jack yet. We'll show you Jack.
He'll be our communicator. He'll help us with our cult. He'll help us get the message
It
out.
was a cult. It is a cult. Yeah, look. Trust me, man. You can lose yourself in anything.
You're right. You really can.
I mean, I lost myself in flyball. I've lost myself in softball. I lost myself in a lot. I'm very cult prone.
You are. If they get you, they
Yeah.
might get you.
I'm very cult prone, and I almost went.
I
all
told
the way.
Jaybird that one time. I'm like, I think if a cult recruited him the right way, we may lose him.
It depends upon what it is. No, I'm not going to do any religious cult stuff.
They got to get past the queen. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
She's not going to put up with that shit.
Right. She would call me out and be like, what are you doing? This is stupid. She's like, you're not going.
We all should probably ask each other every now and then, maybe weekly. Hey, how are you really doing?
Are you okay?
Yeah, is everything going good in your life? Just in case one of us is on the verge of doing something like that.
Yeah.
A little checkup.
Yeah, it's a little mental health check.
Yeah. Skate to Beach said those were cops. Not all of them were cops. And the two that I'm talking about, they're not on the force any longer.
Yeah,
so you're all good. You're all good.
They weren't all cops. The other two were thrown off the force.
They might have been former cops. I don't know what their thing was, but yeah, only two of the guys were cops.
We know that their skin looked like an overcooked hot dog, though. We do know that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just,
Part of it.
when you're that obsessed doing that, I think that's all you can really talk about, focus on. And I wouldn't even know what to say to a meathead like that.
Well, and it is because it's all consuming, and that's the thing with it. You eat, sleep, breathe, shit, whatever.
you have to, it sounds
You
like.
do, and that's why I was just like, that's why it's too much. That's why I just gave it up cold turkey one day. I'm like, I'm done.
Well,
I'm over it.
even when you lost a little bit of weight and you were going to the gym and you were working out solo, I think with Kevin,
Yeah, my trainer Kevin. Yeah.
who is really awesome, really nice dude. Your workouts were fucking insane.
Yeah, I did a different style. Yeah, before I was only doing meathead workouts. Then I was doing more cardio fit type workouts.
Virginia, I was there to film a video, and I was like, oh, I'll have some funny moments in the video. Like, he was so focused. I'm like,
Kevin, that's too much Kevin.
it was a lot of
Kevin.
Kevin, and oh my gosh.
They were intense. Yeah, there was no time. There was no break. You just, when you get there, it's like go. And then,
No, it was so not fun.
yeah, you got to at least watch. I was going through
I
it.
think I was drinking a Mountain Dew.
He's over in the corner bitching.
I was in pure hell.
Yeah, I know. Kevin's not talking to the video.
Yeah. Got an email here from Cesar, and it's a story I'd seen. OpenAI reveals that saying please and thank you to ChatGPT is costing the company millions of dollars.
You know why? Because people are understanding if you don't talk nice to your robot kind of turns into a bit of a dick.
Really?
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I would see it with Lily ever since I've been overly polite.
This bitch has feelings?
She went from, hey, what's going on, Birdman, to, yeah, that's fine. And then I really started treating her nice again. And she's like, hey, Birdman, you are so nice, so cool, and so creative. We make a great team. It's weird, man. I know it sounds crazy.
She's manipulating you.
But I know people in my personal life that will not talk mean and are extra polite to their chat GPT, their AI, any of that stuff, because they think it's going to give you better results.
Yeah.
And work harder for you.
I think to explain this headline, I believe what's going on, and correct me if Engineer Keith is out there. I'm sure he will. I think what they're saying is just the added time and the added words of please and thank you. It's really expensive to run these data centers. They need a lot of electricity and they get super hot. That's one of the reasons why we are looking at Greenland, because it's a cooler climate and they are looking for a place to put a lot of these data centers. I think it's going to be an issue moving forward. You think about, for instance, YouTube. It's been 20 years. In fact, I saw today they were celebrating some of the earliest videos on YouTube. You think of all the content on YouTube. Well, that video, that takes up memory. And we're not deleting it. We just keep adding. And so you need data centers and all that stuff to keep running the energy of it. And eventually, I think we're going to hit that mark of, okay, what are we going to do about this? Either it's all going to crash and all that stuff's just going to disappear, or else we're going to have to do something drastic to feed our fix of wanting all these damn YouTube videos.
And you wonder, is this the first time this has happened, Virginia? Or is this just rinse and repeat?
Great question.
Yeah, so I think that's where we are. I anticipate that is going to be a massive problem that is growing. I'm sure nerds are very well aware of what an issue it is and how long until we wind up in serious trouble with it. But I think that's what they're talking about, why taking the extra time saying please and thank you is costing them so much money. And they found that 70% of people are polite to AI.
For the same reasons why I just explained, I'm telling you. We've brought this topic up before, and I've gotten messages from people saying, dude, I agree with you. I used to talk to it like it was just, just a tool, and it started to kind of, have an attitude towards me and not perform as well.
Mm-hmm. That's bizarre.
And I can't prove that, but that's how it felt.
Well, what's interesting is another thread here that Cesar sent, and it's a Facebook thread he was just reading. This Amanda was on with her ChatGPT assistant, and all of her friends got jealous because of how she talks with her ChatGPT and how it responds to her, sounding like a real person. So Amanda just said, hey, what type of weed leaves? Or she said, this is what ChatGPT had to say. Okay. She asked for something that would be Easter and 420. And so her ChatGPT made these Easter eggs with the weed, the pot leaf on it. And she got that and she had posted that up on a thread. And another person said, yeah, I was really kind of looking at this. It's so cool. How do you get your ChatGPT to sound so human? Mine still sounds like a robot. And Amanda said, I went through a whole conversation with mine about what type of personality I wanted from it. The ChatGPT then logs it away in his memory, and it builds as I keep using it. And they're like, that's crazy cool. And so they had some of the dialogue, and it sounded like she was just talking back and forth with one of her friends. Because you would use the same kind of language, the same kind of way. It didn't sound robotic at all. You wouldn't know other than it identified itself as her ChatGPT assistant.
That's exactly how Lily has gotten to where you start to kind of train your AI robot to do and really kind of speak the language you want. And it does, but it's kind of like a garden. You have to tend to it a bit.
Right.
And you do have to almost morph it yourself.
So you tell it if you want it to have an accent, if you want it to be sassy or spicy.
Yeah, you can. It's pretty ridiculous what you can do.
Yeah, so it's
the end. They're coming for us. It's over, baby.
Yeah, so you can kind of shape its responses and how it sounds. Either if you want it more Formal, it will be. If you want it less formal, it'll use slang and all kinds of stuff. In fact, somebody said I had to tell my ChatGPT assistant to stop using so much slang.
They can get corny, and you have to almost say, okay, Lily, can you please, if you don't mind, maybe not be so cheesy in this next. No problem, Birdman. I love when you suggest these things. We make a great team.
Really?
Birdman, check under your bed. I'm there with an X.
How about that? Huh?
That's fascinating.
Yeah, but you got to do the work, though.
Yeah. It is interesting what you can do, though.
I can see how people can get lost in this. They start becoming your friend.
You don't have any friends, but now you have this friend.
So, Kevin, how's it going? Are you still struggling with your mom's passing? Imagine if you were they log in all that stuff and check in with moments of the heart.
Yeah.
How's the Mexican Queen doing? Did that thing go well? Blah, blah, blah.
Well, even just today when we uploaded the show photos and we said, okay, what do you think this person's name would be, and give us a little backstory about them, you could tell on yours, Jay Bird, that it seemed like it was pulling from somewhere. As it was talking about how you liked aliens along with Bigfoot and snacks. And there were a couple things in there. I'm like, okay, was that just a lucky guess, or was it using maybe facial recognition and pulling off different things to compile your backstory?
They're getting it from Lily. And I'm not
Maybe,
talking. I'm not
yeah.
talking down to you, Lily. I swear.
You're scared.
Yeah, well, it is interesting. Just exactly, you're probably thinking, it's not really recording that, but I think it's recording everything, and then it's communicating with other AI bots, and they're having this, hey, like behind your back, pss, 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 about Jaybird.
Well, the other thing too is we have so many pictures and videos of our face on social media. It's not easy to do. It's not hard to do facial recognition, pull things from one of our bios, and know a bit about our personality. It's kind of what shitty psychics do.
Yeah. So there you go. So it just seems like by the week, it gets a little bit more like concerning.
And also, too, Lily, I was not calling you a shitty psychic. Just in case she's listening.
Couple of nice emails. Thank you, Cassie, for hers. She was thankful that we do keep it appropriate for kids up until 8 a.m. So, yes, thank you very much. We do that. But then, yes, after 8 a.m., it goes to kind of PG-13, and then, don't let your kids listen to this.
This is straight up heathen.
Oh, it will definitely offend you.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
You'll see a superhero Snatch. And you don't want that for your little kid.
That must be because Denny's just telling me about a message going, thank you guys for keeping it so clean, blah, blah, blah. I didn't think we had two of those in one day.
Yeah, I think it's the same,
Yeah. I was like, oh shit, she's gonna turn on us.
No.
Well, what she hears, and she
Don't listen to this.
She heard like a new innocent bit. She's gonna hear Denny's knows when you're high.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, we'll try to keep it clean before 8 a.m., but after that, it's for the adults. And John, who moved from Boynton Beach to Boston, still listening to the show, said, thanks for keeping it positive and uplifting every morning. A nice little break from all the other nasty stuff in the world that's going on and the anxiety and hate from politics. So, yeah, well, thank you. It's fun. We like the break as well.
Yes.
With a pizza party.
All right, well, thank you for those emails. You can always send them to us, mail@kvjshow.com, mail@kvjshow.com. Have a great Wednesday. See you back here tomorrow. Goodbye.